Alright. We should be live. Looked like YouTube was having a little bit of issues right off the bat, but we should be live. Let's see. So, just double checking everything. Looks like we are live, which is a good thing. Audio seems to be working pretty fine. So we'll get on with the grinding Meep. So the plan for this stream is going to be probably just going to be solid Meep grinding. About 2 hours of it, so about 20 Meeps total. But yeah, should be pretty boring stream for most people. Just grinding Meep over and over again. Probably by the end of it, we'll be up to 550 or 350 keys. I can't do math, so yeah, we'll do that. We'll start with that. But yeah, is your pet Meep ready? 50 spawn ghost, a lot to make him lag. Yeah, I don't really think the lag in Ghost Simulator is much to do with the ghost spawning or the particles that they shoot. I think it's probably something to do with a script error causing an infinite loop that overtaxes the CPU, would be my guess, rather than anything to do with the actual objects themselves. Seeing how it only crops up occasionally on the start of a playing Ghost Sim, so yeah. Hi, no, I'm not going to be doing anything inefficient like that. I'll be making full use of all of my abilities, including gum and overcharge and everything like that. So there we go. Use a glitchy vac gum. But yeah, this is basically just going to be the same thing over and over again for the whole 2 hours, so it'll probably get really repetitive and boring after a little bit. So thank you. I'm trying to figure out where to position my phone so I can read chat. Alright, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still getting things a little bit set up. I wasn't really planning on starting until 9, but decided to start a little bit early since I thought I was ready, and apparently I'm not. Actually, I don't think I'm ever really ready for these streams when I decide to start them, which is mostly just to do with I can't really think of everything to do before starting them, so yeah. Let's do that. That'll probably be good. Alright. So, thank you guys for coming in. I know a lot of people were kind of saw it beforehand. I set it up a little bit earlier than I normally do. Usually these things I set up about 5 minutes before I start them, and people are just like, people are kind of struggling to find them in time. I set this one up yesterday, so that's good. There you go. Just had to reload the stream. Yeah. Sometimes YouTube doesn't like streams for whatever reason, so it can be really interesting sometimes when it fails. But yeah, usually refreshing works very well. I know the last stream I did, I wasn't able to. I still don't know if I can, but able to load it on my computer and watch it there. So that's very interesting. The fact that my last stream really isn't working for me to watch. But yeah. We are somewhat. We'll use a glitchy loot just because, since there's really no reason not to, I guess. Since I wasn't being quite the most efficient possible during this thing, I did kind of run out of gum, and it took a little bit longer than I would have expected, but whatever. Next time, wait until all the ghosts are done spawning. Actually, that is not actually the best way to do it. Since ghosts spawn, they max out at a certain usually cap of 8. it's better to overcharge earlier than waste time that they could be using to respawn. So yeah, it's not always the best to just do it when it's max capacity, since then you end up wasting time for them to wasting time that they could be using to respawn. Since if you're using the vacuum anyways, it's actually about the same efficiency to overcharge and just keep vacuuming. The only benefit you get from overcharging is you don't have to actually do as much stuff, and so I usually just do that first off the bat, and then first off the bat once I get into the third room. Do you use OBS or OBS Studio? I didn't know there was two different OBSs, so probably whichever the standard one is. Looks like it's just OBS, but yeah. Hello, welcome to another stream. I'm just going to be grinding Meep a lot, and hopefully getting a few keys. So, but yeah. It also looks like my stream is not being the most efficient. So, let's hope that the lag isn't too bad. But anyways, I'm trying to think. Yeah, my YouTube's giving me an error currently that I'm not streaming, not receiving enough video, which is definitely kind of annoying, to see that the quality isn't going to be the best, but whatever. Probably has a little bit something to do with my internet being a little bit bad today, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. You're using the normal OBS, but Russo, whoever that is, uses OBS Studio. Yeah, I have really no idea what much of goes on with the video stuff. I just kind of do whatever I feel like. So, yeah, whatever's the easiest. Convert all e-tokens to gems. That is not going to be something I'm doing this stream. That is something that will take a long time and isn't really going to be worthwhile yet. I'm just going to continue collecting them for now. So yeah. Anyways, we should be able to start getting into the grind hopefully this battle. Since now I'm not going to be distracted with setting up things, and I completely just used the wrong gum. Yeah, okay. I say I'm going to get into the grind, and then I just go and mess it up instantly. I kind of wish you could go pop gum by like clicking on it in your inventory. I know that's been I know someone else has suggested that at least once, but I feel like that'd be pretty nice. I mean, it's not really needed since it only does last 2 minutes anyways, but at the same time it's kind of annoying when you accidentally use the wrong gum and you have to now wait 2 minutes for something else. But yeah. I've been waiting. Also, I have 2 bowgums. Oh, nice. I don't have a bowgum yet, mostly because I haven't converted anything to gum yet, which is just kind of how it is. I am hopefully going to get a bit of bowgum, but at the same time, getting gum with emeralds when you could go buy some actual good items doesn't actually sound the best idea in my opinion, but we'll see. I have enough emeralds to be able to get a bit of bowgum. Not as much as some other people's. I know some people collected a few million worth of emeralds, and so you could get quite a lot of bowgum when they tried to, so. But yeah. Still need Puggy. Oh yeah, the Puggy I know is one of those things, like all the godlies from the 25 crate. They are low chance, but at the same time they're high enough that few people can get them first try, while a lot of other people can really struggle to even get one. Since it's just an expensive crate overall, it really it really isn't the most balanced in terms of RNG wise, since sometimes people will have to spend a lot to get that 10% sliver, whereas it's common enough to get it first try. And just having the 10% stuff is kind of at that point where it's hard enough crate to open that it's annoying each time, but it's a high enough chance that you aren't like, this is impossible. And so that's kind of where those godlies are at, is that weird awkward point where it's kind of expensive to get the crate each time, but you have a high enough chance that it seems feasible. Yeah, but RNG is weird. So, but anyways, we'll get back to grinding. I have no idea what messed up. Oh, that's what messed up my inventory. I'm like, I remember it being an even on the bottom of the glitchy gum, so it could fit in better. But I guess because I got some new, I was working on the void, since I'll need to complete that before rebirthing anyways. Just get that out of the way right now. So, but yeah. But yeah, after this stream is done, I should be up to 350-ish keys, which is definitely going to be good. My goal is to get around 500, so I have a decent chance at getting, so I can get at least get the mini Jeepers, or not mini Jeepers, it's just called Jeepers, the board from the mythical board from Meep's chests, and then I'll hopefully have enough keys left over to go and get the rest of the stuff from the smaller key chest. I might have to do a little bit more if I'm wanting to get everything, but at the same time, it should be a decent enough to have those 500 keys to be able to get everything pretty comfortably. So yeah, that's the goal with the keys, is to get 500, get the mythical board, and then hopefully get everything else from the key chests. But we'll see how much we can get. I do have another week and a half basically, so that can be interesting. I thought the purple dino board was bigger. Yeah, it definitely looked a little bit bigger based off the leaks that were from it. But at the same time, being it this size, it actually makes it look even cooler in my opinion. So it isn't really getting in the way like a lot of the other large boards do. They visually get in the way of whatever you're doing. But at the same time, it also makes it look cuter. So it's like a double reward for it being a bit smaller. So I think it's a really cool board. It's nice purple. It's not quite at that point where it's in the way, but it is a very unique board. I mean, dragon, lol. Yeah, there's really not much of a difference between dinosaurs and dragons as the way I see it. I mean, the biggest difference is that dragons usually can fly, whereas dinosaurs, the reptiles, at least of them, usually couldn't fly. But other than that, it's not usually a huge difference. Oh. Yeah. I mean, even if you look at purple has wings too, and it's kind of considered a dinosaur, rather than a dragon. So really the difference between those two things isn't too big. But yeah. I'm going to head out okay, goodbye. Stay safe. Let's see. Do you have a VIP you're using? Yeah, I'm using a VIP server, so I don't have to deal with people, since I've... basically, you're slower even if you're grinding with a good team. Just because people are kind of doing whatever. you aren't as easily as getting to the ghosts and stuff, and so even if I was playing with good people, they'd end up not being not really helping much. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm using a VIP server, is just because it's more efficient, and since all I really care about is getting things done as fast as possible, that's kind of what I'm going to do. To be honest, VIP servers are probably one of the most helpful things that you can do to help yourself grinding in Ghost Simulator. I mean, Game Pass, of course, are permanent, whereas VIPs you do have to renew every month, but how cheap VIP servers are, they are also still really helpful, so yeah. Of course, because of how VIP servers work, you really don't even need your own VIP server. All you need is access to one, is either a link if you're on VIP, if you're, you can literally just take a VIP from somewhere, or if you want, you could also use a, just have a friend with a VIP, and since basically any other world other than the main hub, you get sent to a solo server yourself, you really don't ever need to really do anything, since even if your friend and you both want to grind at the same time, as long as you both aren't needing to do it in the main hub, you can actually just grind on your own in the same VIP server technically. So, what gum are you using? I'm using vac gum for the dungeon part, and then an X gum for the boss part of it. The X gum is just so I end up selling for a bit more ecto once I'm done with each fight, and the vac gum is so I can get through the dungeon a little bit faster. You can also use loot gum for the dungeon, and also boss gum for the fight. But yeah, I'm currently don't really need more emeralds and don't have any boss gum, so this is what I'm sticking with. But yeah, any of those for gums are actually really helpful during the event. Like, I think the only thing that really, yeah, you basically vac gum, X gum, loot gum, or the boss gum is about all that's good. Like, I mean, bunny gum is pretty good for some stuff. Zoom gum can help a little bit in some scenarios, but for the most part, loot gum, X gum, and boss gum is about the best gums anyways. So yeah. I actually go over some tips for fighting the boss, in which I do cover those gums. So anyone just can go watch that video. But yeah, basically just going to be this over and over again. So not the most interesting stream. I definitely understand why people don't show up to these. But yes. Hey. You're really cool. I mean, I try to be as mature as possible, which I feel like is kind of what I expect from people, so I do it myself. But at the same time, I can be actually very rude when I, either by accident or sometimes even on purpose, I'm just quite rude. So I'm not always the coolest, chillest person in the room. So definitely you guys are seeing an aspect of me that really isn't quite true compared to what I really am. So you do have to bear in mind that I'm more or less putting on a show. I mean, it is a pretty normal for me to be premature, but at the same time, I am a little bit more mature for YouTube than I would be normally. But yeah. Yeah, I definitely try my best to be not too what's the opposite of cool? Too angry and annoying, I guess. But you know, it is just kind of what it is. And yeah, thank you though for the compliment. How do all the ghosts just disappear? Lol. Their overcharge ability, which you get from Rowan. I'm trying to find where it is. I think it's But yeah, there's an overcharge. Oh, there it is. Overcharge from Rowan. Basically blows up all the ghosts within a small place. So that's kind of what you saw. Basically, you get it by holding down your mouse button once you're done with Rowan. So that's it again. I'm also using Vacuum, so I basically instantly vacuum up ghosts anyways, which also is why they're kind of just disappearing too, but I think you're probably referring to the overcharge. Anybody have all the complete tasks? I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of the perks in this game are quite cool to have and really helpful for the dungeon. But yeah. Whoa, anybody not have all complete tasks? Me, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, most of those, I covered a lot of that stuff, like which upgrades are helpful. In my previous video, it wasn't the most organized video, so I can definitely understand it not being interesting to watch. But also, if you're wondering what things do, the wiki is actually a decent place to find info. I know sometimes searching for info that you don't really know how to describe can be kind of annoying since you don't know the correct title of the page or anything. Definitely asking questions is good, which is also where like the Discord comes in handy. Being able, if you join the Bloxbyte Discord, they're actually quite helpful for those kind of questions and stuff. So it's not hard, it's easy. Some things are a lot harder for newer players to do compared to people who know how to play the game. For instance, I know the Meep boss, if you have the upgrades, it makes it a lot easier to do. And also with game passes like 2x agility and more streams, that's not a game pass, but at least more agility is really helpful for the dungeon, so whereas newer players struggle a lot. So what you really have to notice is that it's a big difference for people between newer players and older players on what's hard and what's easy. But yeah. It's one of those things that Ghostim, I feel like, does a pretty good balance of, is giving that advantage to people that have Robux and stuff, and are willing and have played the game for a while, but still allowing the newer players to have some sense of ability to grind, which is kind of why I've really liked a lot of the things that they've added, like Lucky Cats. That rebirth perk is pretty awesome for the balance it brings, and then also like these events are they're not the fairest for everyone, but at the same time they can be quite nice for newer players to play. But yeah, I mean the biggest imbalance right now, I think, is basically 2x items, because of how broken it is or not really broken, but how it stacks with gum just makes it really easy for people to get through like backdoor and grind gum and do all those things that really help out a lot, compared to people without it who can't do either of those things very easily, struggle a lot more. So yeah. Other than that, though, I feel like Ghost Simulator does a really good job of balancing the free-to-play and pay-to-win aspects of games in this current gaming trend. Whereas the trend is more to be like give OP stuff to people who pay, to encourage people to pay more, whereas Ghost Sim I think it does a very good balance of allowing people to play the game and enjoy it without that, which is definitely very good in my opinion. But yeah. But yeah, this dungeon is I really like dungeon events. They're probably my favorite overall. Just because they allow you to grind both currencies at once. Makes it a little bit harder since I know most of the time bosses for events are usually relatively easy, which makes it kind of more monotonous to grind for, and you know that the item will be worth less since a lot more people will be going for it in the end. So it really encourages having these type of dungeons. Just is one of the things that I like to do a lot more than normal. But yeah. I mean, I kind of wish I've played a bit more of the events more often, since I really haven't played many events since 2019 in Ghost Simulator. I mean, I casually played them, got completed with all the quests and stuff, but I didn't really spend time grinding for any of the good pets from them. So, yeah, I'm really glad that this event came when it did, so I could grind it ish. But also is a good event that is actually quite fun to play, and I also have some time to grind it. I like events with the dungeons. Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's one of those things that you either like it because it's harder, or you don't like it because it's harder. So for the same reason some people enjoy something, other people don't enjoy it, which is kind of where Ghost Sim's kind of in that category, where very few people actually enjoy the grindy and lore aspects of Ghost Simulator, especially compared to what most Roblox games are like and what people really expect from a Roblox game, where most people really don't care too much about the lore or the grindy aspects of it, and so most people just kind of don't enjoy it, whereas the people who do enjoy it really like it a lot. But you know, it is what it is. We've already gone through the boss, I think, twice now, or maybe even 3 times. So that's good. I'm getting pretty good progress. Yeah, it's not too big of a deal getting hit by the attacks, since they do pretty minimal damage overall, relative to how much damage you really can take. So I kind of just chill and take whatever damage I get. I think Meep's about the correct difficulty. I know, like, Halloween 2019 was like the extreme of Meep, where it was a longer dungeon, along with a 6-cycle boss with some really annoying attacks. Whereas Meep is a lot tamer. I feel like making this easier is kind of the correct path for Ghost Simulator to be taking. But yeah. Also, if you aren't aware, the developers of Ghost Simulator are actually starting to work on another project for the summer Roblox thing. So there's going to be probably a new game out sometime over the summer, which will definitely be pretty cool. Can't wait to see what that is. I think so far the leaks that we have for it is it's not going to be a simulator, which I could have already told you. But I'm also expecting it to be somewhat roleplay based, where you have the lore aspect of Ghost Simulator and you have to go through it that way. Not going to be probably related to Ghost Simulator at all, but like a role, kind of like maybe a fighting game, but I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of game ideas that are still yet to be explored, so it'll be definitely cool to see what they do. Halloween 2019 was like the mega boss at the Ghost World, but with a dungeon. Yeah, it was the hardest boss that they've ever really had. But at the time, it was really novel having all that, the dungeon aspect of it. The attacks were pretty cool. A lot of people were somewhat playing it. It was a cool event, which I'm really glad I played. I wish I played it a little bit more and was able to get the Darkwing that I was trying to with that event, but that didn't quite work out. So it is kind of what it is. But yeah, Halloween 2019 was a hard boss fight. Anyways, yeah. I have about 3 weeks left of my college quarters, so after that, it's just basically going to be Ghost Sim content for, I mean, more often than what I'm doing now, but not too much more often. Probably a bit more videos since I'll have time to create them, but I'll still be kind of busy with other stuff that I'll have to do, like house projects and stuff. So we'll see how how much I'm able to do after that. But yeah, I should be in about three weeks. Expect me to be turning on a bit more streams, like probably more regularly, maybe have a schedule or something. But yeah, that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to this summer. To both for YouTube content stuff, which is fun, and also for being able to grind Ghost Sim a little bit more. I've also been thinking about getting into some other games. So I know one of the ones that a lot of people that have played Ghost Simulator have kind of talked about is like World Zero. I haven't really played it ever, so I'm debating about doing a video of seeing how I like it. But we'll see how that goes. Some said attacks were broken like too fast, made too much damage, and would take too long. Oh yeah, it was some of the attacks. Really, I think the biggest one was the grab one. It really did. It sometimes grabbed you even if you were off a hoverboard, or if you were on a hoverboard. Of course, it took you. And it did like 35% damage or something ridiculous. So it was really annoying. If you did have it happen to you, and so yeah, that was really annoying. The bat's hitbox, the only things that you could actually click on were its eyes and other random features like its tail or mouth, and so it was kind of annoying. But yeah, overall though, I think Halloween 2018 was pretty fun. Yeah, Bloxfight Games, they are working on another game. We don't have any information on it yet, other than it's not going to be a simulator, and I would guess it's not going to be related at all to the Ghost Simulator part. And I'm going to guess that they're actually going to continue development on Ghost Simulator, like still pushing out events and other content to it. Probably at a slower pace than even what they're doing now with the 2 weeks, but definitely with the fact that they moved it from a 1 week update cycle to a 2 week update cycle definitely means we're going to be getting some more. So we're still going to get continued content even after they release the new game. I saw Mackie making a gun. Interesting. I would guess they won't be doing sneak peeks and stuff like on Ghost Sim on that new game yet, would be my guess. And it's probably just going to be for Ghost Simulator, but at the same time, who knows? But that ended up as Meep's machine guns. Yeah, that makes sense. Remember to stay hydrated, people. Drinking water is pretty important and can help a lot. But yeah. Yeah, Bloxbite's been doing a lot of leaks recently. Like, they've been streaming a lot of the making of the game, like the modeling of the pets and stuff. They've also been releasing a lot of stuff on like Twitter and Coven K's YouTube, which if you haven't already, check out Coven K's channel. She also does Ghost Sim content and a lot of other Roblox stuff a lot better than I do. But yeah. Yeah, Conk's Tonk is actually one of the latest things that Coven has leaked on her YouTube channel, which is actually it's basically a red Tonk. It's probably going to be from her Tonya, or not. I guess it's not really hers, but it's Tonya, the ghost hunter in Ghost World for the event, is based on Coven's personality and stuff. So basically is off of her, or on her. Basically is her. But yeah, it's probably going to be in that chest. So if you want a Conch Stonk, you can probably get it there. Probably. It's not confirmed. No one really knows for certain, but I'd guess that's probably where it's going to end up coming from, is the board coming from there. Probably along with another pet, I would guess. And then all the other new chests are probably all going to unbox into just a pet. That's just based off of the numbers released in their update log. They released the pet and board numbers, which was 5 and 3, 5 pets, 3 boards. 3 of the boards, obviously one of the boards was a, or 2 of the boards will be the shop items, so that leaves 1 additional board. And then 5 pets, 1 of which was Bo, and then 1 of which was the code pet, and then another which is in the store. So probably actually will be just a Conch Stonk in the Tonya's chest, and then 2 more. The other 2 chests will probably be 2 pets. So yeah. Ella, or the Pink Elf, or whatever you want to call her, she's came back in now 3 events under 3 different names, which is really interesting when you think about it. It's just how many times she's come back into the game under a different name. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of lore in these events that I'm missing, but yeah. There was a sloth, I think. Probably a sloth pet. I think that was one of the concept arts is probably going to be added. Probably in Reed's questline, I'd guess, since that makes the most sense. Maybe also in Ella's, but not for sure. But yeah. Yeah, Bo is awesome. Seeing Bo come back every event has definitely been cool. Like, I think the only event he hasn't been in, it was the first event that Ghost Simulator did ever. I think since then he's been in every single event release. Maybe with the exception of Easter last year, but I'm pretty sure he was in that too. But yeah. I'm going to assume those 3 different crates, based off the numbers given in the update, the changelog, is going to be 1 board, Conch Stonk, and then 2 pets, including 1 of the sloths from the mystery crates, with distribution of Tonya's being the Conch Stonk and the other 2 being pets. Probably the sloth and Reeds, and another spring one in the Ellas. But we'll see. We'll see what they actually give. I forgot to use an XGum, but that's not too big of a deal. Hello, welcome back to another stream. I'm just going to be doing a lot of Meeps, probably for another 1.5 hours basically. So 2 hours total was the goal for the stream. Probably will also be doing probably some video recording though tomorrow, and then release a video later tomorrow, would be my guess. Don't really know exactly what I'm going to be doing, but I'll think of something for content. Hello and Bo is common. Yeah. Doop, doop, doop. This spring noise is pretty cool. I like the nice relaxing music. I kind of wish there was something for the dungeon, but it is what it is. Doo -doo. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these streams, mostly I really don't care about if people show up or not, but it's definitely cool to see that people do show up, and even if they aren't the most interesting, I know they aren't. I don't know exactly why people show up, but at the same time, I'm glad that you guys do. Doesn't really matter though, since I'm usually doing these streams, like this one at least, for my own just so I actually get some Ghost Simulator done. I know I say that a lot. I probably say that too much. I ramble a lot of the same things off instead of off a lot when I have no idea what to say. It's kind of just what happens. I also say a lot. You probably have noticed that, is that I usually default to or some other filler word when I have no idea what to say, which is kind of how it works. In test servers, it would be music item. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah. I've been kind of debating about switching over back to loot gum for the dungeon, but I'm not exactly sure if that'd be more or less helpful. I know vac gum allows me to go through it a little bit quicker, but loot gum would help me get some more emeralds, which I then could use for gum and stuff, and then also more crates and stuff if I wanted to. So I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but we'll see. I think I'll probably stake for vac gum for now, since it just allows me to grind through a little bit quicker. And do you know there's other 1K game with code? That was not the right time to go look at chat. Alright, there you go. Did you know there's others 1K games with codes and 3.5 or so? I do not really know about ratios. I feel like that's something that you've decided to everything. But yeah, there's a lot of games with codes in them. Codes is one of those things where you can actually create a little bit of a dependency on your own stuff. So get people to look into finding out more about your game through either following the Twitter, which is usually what they want, being on the Discord, which really does help that community out a lot, or just looking up more information. But yeah. It's also really interesting to note how most of the attacks from Meep won't actually hit you, even if you're just standing right next to it. Like, even with the laser, you just kind of dodge it by running back and forth. The minigun attack just doesn't hit you just because of how the projectiles come out of the cannon. But yeah. Really, the only attack that can hit you even when you're standing close to it is the zoom attack, which doesn't do the most damage. It's interesting to note how some of the attacks work in Meep. Like, the biggest one is the ones where he shoots towards the walls. They don't explode on the player, which I also forgot to gum again. Which kind of makes them useless in a sense, since they have to hit the wall to explode, which usually people aren't standing near a wall. Yeah, Meep is it's one of those things where you really don't need to do much during the fight. It's way more important to make sure you don't miss a cycle rather than avoid the damage. I know you're trying to do numbers and stuff, but could you please not like spam any more numbers in chat? Hello, puppy. Alright, my dog's coming saying hi to me like she wants to go on a walk. Do I look like I'm ready to go on a walk, puppy? Okay. You know. Yeah, that's the one thing about streaming early in the morning that is kind of annoying. Is that my puppy likes to go on walks early in the morning, and usually I'm the one that has to take her. So she has to go find someone else to go take her on a walk. Isn't that right? Okay. Anyways, back to grinding. Since apparently talking to my dog is probably not the best thing to be doing on streams. But yeah. I really like my the pets. I feel like I'm more of a cat person myself, but dogs are pretty awesome. I mean, cats are a lot less maintenance. You don't have to really take them outside as long as you clean out their litter box every once in a while. But at the same time, dogs are a lot. It's a lot better to have a dog for the walks and stuff, just for your own stuff. But having a pet can really help with stress and stuff. I have a list with every number. Yeah, a lot of the numbers, bigger numbers, they really get interesting to see what their names are. But yeah, it's there you go. Let's grab all of these ghosts. There you go. Ideas for games I'm making. Yeah, I know making games can be quite hard. I've thought about it, but I've not really got into the coding aspect of it, which is kind of where I'd like to do. I have an idea for a game, but at the same time, it wouldn't probably turn out the way I'm thinking. And there's a lot more of, I really don't understand the how to do Ghost Simulators, or not Ghost Simulator, Roblox coding. So I'd have to get into that first, which would definitely be interesting to figure out. But, you know. There you go. But yeah, for the meantime, I think I'm probably going to stick with having fun on YouTube. Playing Roblox, Ghost Simulator a lot. It's a really fun game. I enjoy Ghost Sim a lot. I've been playing it for a while now. I mean, I basically did take a year break since the final boss was released. I really wasn't playing Ghost Sim too much. Actually, I think as a whole, I've never really played Ghost Sim that much. But really, since Halloween 2019, I've more or less just been keeping up with the updates rather than doing much in terms of getting better at it. Ghost Sim is super good because of teamwork. Yeah, with having the separated people, you're able to do a lot more work in a shorter time. With having people just focus on one thing, each person can do their own thing, and then all the content can go together pretty easily. A lot of new ideas can come from working as a team. So yeah, definitely the fact that they've always been working kind of as a team is definitely nice. But yeah. I'll probably once I'm waiting for the next dungeon to open, I'll probably go run out and see if my dog wants to go outside by herself, since I don't really have the time right now to take her on a 20-minute walk. I mean, I could, but I can probably do that after I stream. But yeah, so you know. You remember me? Actually, I think I do. You were in either my last stream or you said you came and said hi during one of my last 2 streams. I'm not really good at remembering people in general, though, so I don't remember much specific details, but I do somewhat remember your name. But other than that, I can't tell you what you said or if you asked questions or not. But yeah, I'm pretty bad when it comes to remembering names and stuff, so you know, it does help that only like 5 to 6 people show up to each of my streams, so I usually can remember when someone new comes in. But yeah, when you did the read quest, I was in the stream. Okay. I mean, wasn't my longest stream, and so yeah, I really don't remember exactly when you showed up, so, but, yeah, my memories, I'm not really good at remembering, specific details. I'm more of I prefer to remember, how things work, rather than specific stuff, so, like, even for, like, math and stuff, instead of remembering exactly what everything does, I'd like to remember, like, the basic rules of it, so everything works together better, which has its advantages, but also has its disadvantages, since I usually am pretty bad at remembering specific events, like if someone told me to do something or asked me a question and stuff like that, so, but. Oh, it's alright. Yeah, I mean, you know, it is. Let's see. I'm planning on streaming for about another hour and 10 minutes, I think. I'm probably already at about 100 or 323 probably keys already. I'll take a small check once I'm done with this fight, or while I'm waiting for this. Let's see. Yeah, 331 keys, which is a bit more than I was expecting. That's like 8 fights already, I think. So, yeah. That's pretty good. Actually, that's more like 9 fights, isn't that? 331, 313. Yeah, okay. I'm making pretty good progress on the Meep keys. Go find what GX gun. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. People haven't really. Yeah, I know a lot of people haven't been getting as much out of the online school as they would from a normal school. And part of that's because of how much more distractions are at home. Part of it's teachers don't know how to teach they do know how to teach, but they aren't used to teaching from the remote areas. They don't know how to best help people or socialize or get to know people, which helps with it. Also, a lot of it's people really we don't have the best teaching methods either in the US. I know other countries have better ones. But yeah, definitely the online is definitely harder to learn for most people compared to what the coming back, so yeah. I mean, personally, I like not having to go to school, but that's more just because I have to commute a long time for school, and so I prefer not to have to do that commute, compared to, like, what most people is actually pretty short commute to their school. I'm usually taking a bus or something, but yeah. But definitely YouTube has been a decent over Corona, or during the Corona and everyone being at home. Fact that a lot of people have a lot more time that they spend on YouTube. Really, just my channel's grown a lot since then. I mean, a lot relative to me is like one person every day, which isn't too much compared to the people that are actually been like the bigger YouTubers that you actually think of, the few 100,000 to a few million subscribers that the bigger YouTubers have, where they've grown probably a lot more during this time than I would have, since a lot of more people are at home to watch the videos. They don't need to worry too much about doing other stuff, and have been able to focus. So definitely it's a weird time, but at the same time it's also I've kind of enjoyed it a bit, being able to stay home a lot more, save a lot more time, being able to do YouTube content, which I enjoy making, since it's kind of my hobby-ish, is making random YouTube stuff, because I kind of enjoy it. But yeah. By the way, how you have the power to grind so much keys? I did 14 and I gave up. Part of it is I don't have much better to do. I don't really have much. I'm kind of okay. I do have game passes, so that makes it a lot better. The fact that I'm getting more out of it than just keys. I'm also getting ecto tokens. I'm getting more keys because of the 2x pass. I'm getting a lot more emeralds because of 2x items. All those game passes really help me to get more out of it, so it makes it more worthwhile for me to be spending this time. The fact that I've grinded Ghost Sim a lot already makes me feel like it's worthwhile to do this for the event. The fact I'm doing it for YouTube stuff also helps me feel like it's more productive something to do, rather than just sitting down and spending 5 hours on a game that really doesn't do anything. I can be like, oh, I'm spending 5 hours doing 2 things fun and working on creating content for something that could make me money eventually, and so it makes it feel a lot different than just sitting down and playing a game with the YouTube aspect of it. But yeah, also some of it has to do with the fact that, as I said before, I actually do have time to put into the game, whereas a lot of time people have other stuff to be doing that are probably more important, like school or work or stuff, that probably better for them to be doing, and so they can't really put as in much time. But yeah, also just sticking with it and getting into the flow really helps out a lot, and then just coming back to it when you have free time instead of doing something else, like coming and watching a YouTube stream. Like, that's not saying that you shouldn't do it, but I know YouTube can be a very big bad rabbit hole for being unproductive. Like yesterday, I really needed to get homework done. Homework did not get done. 5 hours of YouTube got done. YouTube can be a very bad rabbit hole for unproductiveness, so avoiding that when possible, and instead of doing that, doing something like Ghost Sim, even if it's not as productive, it's a little bit better. Yeah, one-shotting the ghost with the vacuum is really helpful for going through it pretty faster, so definitely worth the time to do that. Definitely worth the vacuum to be using during the dungeon. But yeah, having the game pass is probably the biggest thing that helps. Knowing that my time's worth a little bit more than what it was before, since of how much I have game pass wise, but I know most people can't afford the game passes for most games, so it really isn't as helpful for them to be grinding compared to just trading or something. But yeah. But one of the things I've noticed is that you get a lot keys faster while grinding than what you really think it would take. So once you start grinding and you get into the rhythm, it really starts to speed up. Like for instance, now I probably would only think I've done like maybe 5 to 8 battles and worth of keys, whereas I've actually done now 11 fights for 11 Meep fights, which is 22 keys for me, which is lot, which really starts add up the amount of time that you think you've spent versus the actual time you've spent. So that can be quite interesting. What do you do? What do you get when you do Bow's Quest? You get actually a bow pet. I'm not sure. I think it's a mushy bow. Yeah, right there. From this one. If you're talking about a different bow pet, I'm not quite exactly sure. Or bow quest, like the one in the void. I don't think you're referring to that, but if you're talking about the one that you get in the Bloxbite HQ, you get a boward. But I'm assuming you're just talking about the event one, since it's mentioning a bow quest. But yeah, he's the only one not to give a chest currently, so that's cool. Also, here's 600 times in 100 years. That would actually be pretty easy. I think the current calculation is about 4 to 6 hours per one rebirth. So in theory, you could do 600 rebirths in actually 1 year. Although I wouldn't suggest it, since that's like 8-hour days. And I don't really have that time. Yeah. I think I'll probably be getting to probably around 10 to 20 rebirths total for Ghost Simulator before we're kind of mellowing out on the rebirth grind. But that'll probably be the first part of my summer. We'll just be spent streaming rebirths or something, covering stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I also do have a bunch of stuff that I kind of want to do this life, like grinding a bit of bow boss to upgrade my Oculus Overseers, and also worrying about grinding for maybe with that same thing is grinding for the small chance of a cloud wave. What's your username? I try to keep the same username across all my platforms, so I'm basically highest everywhere. YouTube, Minecraft is not really important, but Roblox is just the same spelling. So if you're looking to find me, it's just that. But just highest. Same spelling as my YouTube channel, same spelling as my Discord, and yeah. Where is the rebirth leaderboard? Yeah, at some point I'm assuming they'll add a rebirth leaderboard, probably in the next 2 updates, I'd guess, which is still a month out. I thought the max rebirths was 60. No, there is no max rebirth count. Current rebirth, the maximum someone has currently is 50, but there is no maximum limit to the amount of rebirths you can have. So you could have 600, you could have 6,000, you could have 6 million if you spent that much time, but I don't think anyone will be getting anywhere over like 150 within the next year. 150 is the highest I can see anyone really going for. Where you're a tester, right? Yes, I'm actually currently a tester. I'm a pretty recent tester, so I am the most recent tester. But yeah. Not that I have any more real information in regards to stuff than you guys do, but yeah. Yeah, since there's no cap, technically you can go up to infinite. I don't think anyone will, but yeah. Do you have a YouTuber code yet? No. If you look at, I'm a really small YouTuber. I really wouldn't even call myself a YouTuber yet. I feel like this is more of a hobby right now than anything else. Whereas with a YouTuber, if you call yourself a YouTuber, people think that you're actually like big enough to be earning stuff and all the other things that come with being a YouTuber. I'm not yet, but I saw someone with 50 rebirths when the rebirth update came out. I don't think anyone had 50 rebirths when the rebirth update came out. I think you might be talking about a different update. But yeah, some person currently does have 50 rebirths. And a few others have 40 plus. A lot of people actually do have 20 plus, but yeah. I saw someone with 10 rebirths when it came out. Depending on what you're talking about when it came out, if you're talking about like a week after it came out, that's definitely possible since it took about 6 hours for most people to do a rebirth. So getting those 9 additional rebirths only would take someone 36 hours, which people easily did in the first week, since it is new content to grind, and they were able to do that. Undertale. I really don't know Undertale and stuff like that. I'm really bad at games, game content. Like Five Nights at Freddy, I never got into, and I know that's a big one. That was YouTube, big one on YouTube a while ago, or like right when it came out. Really have no idea what it is. Same thing with like Undertale and a lot of the other games I really never got into. So yeah. I'm quite uncultured when it comes to game histories and stuff like that. Like, I never really played too much when I was a kid, other than random online games like Flash stuff and cool math games and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah, Roblox has been probably the biggest game I've ever played. So that's interesting. I mean, I have recently gotten into Minecraft, but that wasn't really during while it's big. It was more of a side thing now that it's kind of become better. I have Terraria on my phone. Don't really play it too much. Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm not really too much in the games. I've played a bit on the Wii, which, you know, is actually kind of interesting, like Super Mario Bros. And that kind of stuff on the Wii, which I know isn't really original and is kind of one of those things that a lot of people have but done. So, you know, maybe that, but yeah, the change from a game to experience is kind of a meme. I mean, I really don't feel like it's too big of a deal since it's more of just reflecting that Roblox has stuff other than games. Like a lot of the things that they'd be called games. Some of the stuff were less of games, more of doing. Some of the things were just kind of showing off cool mechanics that someone made, and others were something else, like creating different models and stuff. So yeah. I'm not really much into the metaverse. I never did it, so I don't really know much of the content for it. I know there's a lot of cool stuff from that event that people were able to use, but at the same time, I really didn't get into it, so I'm not quite exactly sure what all the stuff was. But yeah. Let's use an X-Gum. Yeah, the purpose of the X-Gum is actually just to get me a lot of Ecto tokens. If you notice, I have a lot. I think I'm up to now close to 200 million worth of Ecto tokens and gems, so that will allow me to get all of the different gem unlockable boards that I really do need to do. Well, except for the billion one. That one's going to be is quite a ways out. And I'll only probably be able to do after rebirthing like 10 times or something. But we'll see. Why can't I join Ghost Simulator? I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're I'd check your Wi-Fi connection. Make sure you're trying to connect to the right game and not some sub server like the Backdoor or Metaverse. Since I know sometimes people can find those different games on Roblox, and then when clicking join on that, you get errors and stuff. So make sure you're on like the correct game. Check your Wi-Fi. Yeah. Might also just be a small bug. But yeah, there's been a new update for a while. It's actually came out last Friday, I think. Or if you're talking about Roblox or Ghost Simulator, I'm not exactly sure which one you're talking about. Ghost Simulator had an update last Thursday or Friday with some new content. So basically introduced 4 new quest lines, which you can get some cool mystery boxes for. I wonder, probably nothing new, but yeah. One of the most annoying things, I think, is that these side buttons, unlike like your inventory, journal, and the store, they don't close once you click it again. You have to go over and click its own separate X button. Like you see, I can click this multiple times. It doesn't ever really close it again. So I have to go over and click X. I think that's just like a small annoyance. It's not too big of a deal, but at the same time, it's something that's not quite consistent over it, which is kind of annoying. But yeah. Yeah, the Ghost Simulator, I like the latest update to it. The fact that it added the new quests and stuff. Those new quests, even if they're short, I mean, they took me about an hour and a half to do, so they're not too short. So they'll definitely keep people entertained for a while, especially if people can't be able to spend like 5 hours straight like I can playing. They'll definitely be able to get some of those players in. But the fact that it introduced Bo again into this event, like every other event, the lore that came from like Tonya and all those new ghost hunters, is definitely interesting to see how they're trying to close the portal and stuff. I didn't really read the dialogue. The only reason I really know this is because I was going back through to see where I got a crystal key, because I have an odd number of crystal keys currently, and I couldn't remember spending something or getting one anywhere, so I had to go through and double check to see if I ever did get a crystal key. And so I kind of read some of the dialogue, which was very interesting. Yes, that was actually a bug that they actually had to fix recently. But for Rebirths, you could basically vacuum any ghost or unbox a pet or something, and it would auto-complete your Bo quest line. The defeat Bo boss for the Rebirth NPC's quest line, which really helped for Rebirth grinders since they're able to basically completely skip the void. But yeah. Yeah, it was a known bug for a while, and it was definitely pretty weird. But yeah, I really recently noticed something interesting about the Void. One of the Dylan's quest, or whichever one's yellow, I think that's Dylan. One of it's unfinished quest dialogue when you talk to him once you're working on quests. It actually says a little hint about that there's more stuff coming, which I didn't notice during the while it was out and while I was going through it for the first time. And I know it's way too late now, since I was really more tending towards the Rebirth update, which has already come. But the fact that that was there was the whole time, and everyone kind of, or at least I missed it. It's kind of interesting to see how that works. So yeah. Like, I don't have a picture of it currently, so I can't just bring it up, but yeah. I think we're up to like 40-ish, 340 keys. Yeah, 341 keys. We have about an hour left-ish. Probably closer to 45 minutes. So we'll probably be ending out with a little bit less than 370 keys. Or 360 keys, so which will definitely be nice. My goal overall for the event is 500 keys, and then doing like an unboxing video with all my emeralds, all my keys, and all that stuff, which will definitely be interesting. So stay tuned for that stuff. But yeah, you have been streaming for 117. Yeah, it's my stream schedule is quite bad. I don't know if I've ever streamed on a Tuesday before. No. Alright, let's go use an overcharge and then switch over to a vacuum. But yeah. I'm thinking, I know I said this earlier in the stream, but I feel like I might as well ask in. I'm thinking about doing more Roblox content. I've been actually thinking about it for a while now. Instead of just covering basically purely Ghost Sim. Ghost Sim's been what I've been enjoying recently. But I feel like I want to try to get something else, more content onto my channel. So I'm planning on doing some video at some point. Trying to play World Zero and seeing how I like that game. It'd be definitely interesting to see what it is. I don't know. I really don't know exactly what it is. I've heard that it's somewhat role-playing, but that's role-playing's a wide category, and it's something that I usually don't like, but from the sounds of it, it's also a lot of other stuff too, so we'll see how I like World Zero. But yeah, it's one of the games I'm currently thinking about going and playing. So if any of you guys have other Roblox game suggestions, or basically any game suggestion, whatever, that would be definitely really cool. Yeah, that might not be the best idea, is turning up your volume or doing stuff like that. Yeah, okay. I'm keeping missing ghosts. That's not good. Because basically the only time loss that you get from this dungeon part is from having the ghosts stack up so that they aren't respawning efficiently, or from missing your transfers between the rooms. So that's the time loss that you get from the dungeons. And then for Meep, the only time loss you get is if you miss a cycle or aren't shooting consistently. So, yeah. Really, there isn't too much time loss that really you can't avoid in this fight, since you can avoid the respawning stuff by just making sure to get to each of the ghosts as soon as they spawn, or just make sure that they don't stack up to 8. Would also work pretty much, is also the same thing, so yeah. But anyways. I think World Zero, it sounds interesting enough for me to at least do one video on it, so we'll see about that. I'm trying to think of maybe some other Minecraft content would be interesting to do, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I have... Are you guys cat or dog people? I mean, I enjoy both. I know most people have that same thing. They're both good in different circumstances. Overall, though, I think I prefer cats, just because I don't have to... I feel like their personality with, like, the randomness and the fact that they kind of do whatever they want is a lot more interesting. And the fact that they mostly take care of themselves, unlike dogs, which you have to go take out on walks and feed more regularly, or not more regularly, but you have to have a schedule for that, most of them. Along with dogs, just kind of, if they get hurt, it's kind of a lot worse than if a cat gets hurt. You kind of just brush it off and it'll heal itself. But yeah. Like, when cats get into fights, you're like, oh, you can't do much. But if, like, a dog gets into a fight with another dog, it's a much bigger deal. I've really noticed, which is, I mean, it's interesting, but it also kind of makes sense with cats. People do a lot less to control cats than they do for dogs, which kind of makes sense. That means that cats do get into more fights. But yeah. As a whole, I think I do prefer cats. They're a lot cuter. You can cuddle with them a lot easier. Since most of the dogs I'd probably end up getting if I ever, move out of my house. But would be bigger dogs with longer hair, which, yeah. But yeah, cats are definitely my preferred. So ice cream is good. Also, just out of curiosity, am I the only one that just sometimes decides, instead of microwaving like frozen food for like lunch or something, would just eat the frozen food, or like feels like they should? I know I don't do it. I don't do it too often, but I mean, I don't really do it. But I feel like eating the frozen food is sometimes just like you want to just do it instead of worrying about microwaving. I can't be like the only one that does that or thinks about that. I mean, maybe I'm weird and eating frozen food isn't something that everyone thinks about, but at the same time, I feel like eating that frozen food is it seems it's like something interesting, but Yeah, preparing food is like one of those things that I don't really enjoy doing, but at the same time, I enjoy the product of it, so I usually end up doing it anyways. Even if it does take a little bit of time to microwave something up or cook it the normal way through like the air fryer or something on a pan. But yeah. Also, while talking about lunches, PB&Js are actually delicious. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I feel like they're really standard something that really everyone knows about, and because they're pretty basic, they're kind of meh, but they're really delicious, especially if you have more jelly than you have peanut butter. But yeah, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are pretty good. It's one of those things that I have very little there. Like a lot of the time you get them made for like lunch during school, but at the same time it's still pretty good to have later on. So yeah. 40 more minutes left in the 40 more minutes left for the stream. which equates to, I think, about 5 to 6 minutes per meep. So that equates to about 7 meeps, I think. So 14 more keys, which will probably bring my total up to 360, which is pretty good. Hi, 2 days ago from rebirthing, I went from the main hub to backdoor under an hour. Yeah, going from the main hub in Ghost World actually goes by quite quickly. But if you, like Ghost World, I know Yoko can be quite long, so if you're doing him, that probably skipped him for that, but at the same time, it is probably one of the longer ones, but definitely going from main hub to backdoor is probably the easiest part for most people, since a lot of people struggle with the backdoor item grind for the Atenas. I know that's one of the things that a lot of people really do have struggle with, but yeah. So it is definitely the easier going from main hub to backdoor than going through the backdoor itself. But that's definitely a good job. Good grinding that hour though can be really annoying for getting from there. Good job with that. And that sounds pretty quick though compared to what I normally think I do. I think I'm usually about 2.5 to 3 hours between rebirthing and getting back up to backdoor, which a pretty long time. So good job on that. Let's see. At some point I have a lot of normal quests to do, like completing Fern and also going through the Void again, which I've kind of started, but kind of not started at the same time. So that'll definitely be interesting. Kind of just stuff I'm working on in the background during the event. But yeah, definitely grinding meeps and anything. There's a lot of stuff to grind in Ghost Simulator. So at some point I'm planning on doing a video. I know there's a lot of things that I say at some time I'm planning on doing a video for Ghost Simulator. But yeah, actually I think I should probably actually just do that tomorrow, since I have time tomorrow to work on stuff. And why not do that instead of worrying about homework that's due on Saturday. But yeah, I'll probably do a video, work on a video then. Maybe not. Yeah. Actually, now I'll probably just work on my homework tomorrow, and then once I get done with that, I'll work on a video. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways for you to grind on Ghost Simulator. Meet events and boss fights are kind of like a pretty big one with the newest event. But like another one is you can grind for rebirths, which is what most people think about doing. Grinding for gum though is also a bigger one that is actually really helpful, but many people don't really know about, is grinding either backdoor, main hub, basically anywhere for more gums. Can be really helpful for yourself and for trading purposes. And then grinding like the different bosses like Final or Bow Boss for their keys for opening random chests can also be really helpful. Just grinding out better pets in general can be pretty good fun, from like just working on like the unbox quests, grinding gems for that. Worrying about like the unlockable boards from your hoverboard section, those can be actually really fun to grind for too. So yeah, there's a lot of content to actually grind for in Ghost Simulator if you want. So definitely would recommend trying to figure out some fun way to grind in Ghost Simulator. There's a lot of different options that you have. But yeah. I think the biggest thing is those unlockable boards can be, for those currencies, can be really fun to grind for. Since they really don't take too long, especially now that you have gums. So you could go probably grind for gum first, but then go grind for those unlockable boards with the X gum that you get. Even if you don't have too good of pets, you probably have enough to get all the boards in like probably under 15 hours maximum, as long as you have some gum. But yeah. Yeah, gum I think has been one of the best additions to the game. It did kind of break 2x items, and 2x items is a bit broken from it. It still, but other than that though, I feel like it really helped out with making grinding more efficient and just fun, or more fun in general. So that's definitely been a big improvement to the game. I think gum has brought about. I think other than that, I think the other best updates for Ghost Sim has been when they added the back door. That was added a lot of new content and was just kind of good for them. And also the more spaces, the more free-to-play space from those quest lines was also a pretty good addition. So yeah. Overall, I think Ghost Sim has done a lot of good updates for content, which most people now usually don't, they wave away. Like the bonus biomes. Most people usually don't care too much about them, but they're definitely a good idea. Having those gem chests and the additional gem drops. Even if no one cares about the gem drops, it's still nice to have them. Hello, Raven or Razvan or however you pronounce that. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, I think Ghost Sim's done a really good job on their game. I know a lot of things like Ghost World, like basically the whole of Ghost World is obsolete with rebirths now, since usually you skip everything but Yoko and Gatekeeper in Ghost World. Like you don't even worry about Jax and stuff, and all the quest pets have basically become obsolete with the codes that they've been releasing. But yeah. It was still nice when they got added to see the new content and the new direction that Ghost Simulator took. So that's pretty awesome. I finally got premium. Yeah, premium on Roblox. I mean, they do need a free-to-play way for Roblox to be earning some stuff, but same time, it's is one of those things where it is nice to have and might be worth it for some people. I personally don't think premium's worth it for me. But yeah, it's definitely nice the first time you get something like that to have it. And I used a loot gum, which isn't too bad. I was meaning to use a vac gum, but you know, it is what it is. It will allow me to get a few more emeralds, which will help to get more ghostly gum if I care. But I really most people usually don't care too much about ghostly gum compared to glitchy gum, since it's overall much the difference between it, even if it's only like a 1 point or like a 30% difference, that 30% difference is still big enough to be important for people to want glitchy instead of ghostly. So I usually don't really care for ghostly gums too much. They're mostly just additional stuff in my inventory that never will go anywhere. Man, I keep misclicking the ghosts. But yeah. This is kind of where you prefer the back gum, is since you'd end up not having to get overwhelmed with the ghosts here. But it's not too bad with the 5 streams using loot gum instead of a back gum. I think this is probably the worst place it gets, with how ghosts start to stack up. But even with the 5 streams, you can make pretty pretty good work on a bit without the vacuum. Is Roblox broken for me? No, but I haven't really done anything with Roblox in the last few hours, so that may just because I'm not really using it. Like the Roblox website can break, but everyone still in games don't really experience any problems, so it might just be because I'm still in a game. I've heard that there are a few issues with Roblox currently. I think someone was having a little bit of problems logging on to Ghost Simulator, but yeah. So it might be, it might not be, it's probably is having problems. I know Roblox does have quite a few problems with servers failing or updating or something just going wrong. Since that is kind of how internet connections work, things just randomly go wrong. But yeah. Refresh the homepage. Yeah. I would guess that that Roblox is actually down. It is one of those things that does happen often enough for it to be pretty normal. But yeah, I refreshed it without too much difficulty. Not the home page, but like the Ghost Simulator game link itself. So, or actually, it looks like you might be right with Roblox being down, seeing how it's unable to load the or looks like Ghost Simulator's closed for whatever reason. That's why I can't join my friends. That's why I'm asking. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, when I'm opening the Ghost Simulator game, it's currently says unable to verify that you have access to experience. Please try again later. I'm thinking Roblox is down. I would guess that it like some of their user experience stuff, like finding whether or not a game is open, or allowing you to join your friends is currently broken. So that's kind of a Roblox problem that's currently ongoing. Looks like so that's quite annoying. If looks like I'm probably not going to be able to. If I go to my homepage, I can't see any of the games. So yeah, I think their games are currently the game lists may be a little bit broken. Although now that I'm going to discover it, looks like that's working perfectly fine. So it might be interesting. I got premium and Roblox is breaking. Great. Yeah, that's kind of it's really annoying when stuff like this happens. Looks like game's doing a little better of a job loading games now. But yeah, it should be. I'd guess it'd be fixed pretty soon rather than not. But who knows? Isn't too much of a difference between using a vacuum and not during this. I think it's like a difference of like 10 total seconds, based off the time that my loot gun ended off last time. So sacrificing 10 seconds during the dungeon for the additional emeralds that you get from loot gun is actually probably worthwhile for most people. So if you want to, you could probably is better for me to be using loot gun in the long run, but vacuum does make it a little bit easier for me to manage all the ghosts. I don't have to worry too much about misclicks since I'm usually not vacuuming too many ghosts at a time. And misclicking won't end up stopping vacuums on all 5 of them. But, yeah. Yeah, I think Gun has been probably the one biggest addition to Ghost Simulator in the last like year or something. Or since it's been added. I know I know a lot of people did enjoy like the rebirths and stuff, but rebirths are really helped by gum grinding. So yeah. Yep. Why do you have a Rubik's Cube on your screen? Because I don't know what else to put on the screen. I mean, I could just have nothing. But I feel like having a little bit something extra for like what normally would be a webcam for most streamers would be somewhat helpful for entertainment purposes. Yeah, there's really not much of a reason for it. I mean, I do enjoy Rubik's Cubes myself, but at the same time, it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, I just thought it'd be cool, to be honest. That's mostly what I do, is just because I think it looked kind of neat. I mean, I made it myself, so, you know, I'm also kind of want to be like, hey, look at this cool thing I did. It's not the most interesting. It is a little rough around the edges, but as a whole, I think it's a pretty cool GIF. But yeah. It's more of replacement for like a webcam that most people would have, since I know that a webcam can be quite interesting, and at some point I'm thinking about it. I currently don't think I will be anytime soon, but yeah, webcam is definitely helpful for a stream. Did you know if you you're in real life you're smart? It's actually not that hard. It's more of just memorizing a few specific things rather than actually being able to do anything. I mean, I know that there are people that want to figure it out themselves rather than just learning the tricks. But I kind of took the easy way out and learned from someone else how to do it. But yeah. Hello. I'm bad at memorizing things. Yeah, I'm actually pretty bad at memorizing specific stuff too, which is usually why the way I learn it usually isn't have to do with the letters themselves or how to do stuff. It's more just the finger motions themselves for muscle memory with cubes, which is actually a big thing, is memorizing the muscle memory rather than figuring out memorizing all the individual moves, since muscle memory can be very powerful. Hello, person chat, Monica, whatever you pronounce. I'm not good at pronouncing even English words. I'm terrible at pronouncing. So once you start getting the specific stuff, like I know those like dashes or whatever cross letters or just help pronounce stuff. I don't know what they mean. I'm not a language person. I know they do help a lot with other language pronunciations, but I don't understand them at all. So yeah. By the way, I got my job today, or job, or whatever, probably job. But yeah, getting a job can actually be really fun. So yeah. I'm back and now on the PC. Yeah, being on a PC, I mean, most things are better to be doing on a PC, for especially Roblox. It's a lot easier to play most Roblox games on a PC rather than a mobile or anything else, and a lot of other things like websites and stuff work much better on PCs. So that's definitely nice to have a PC to be on when you can. Yeah. You kind of did pronounce my name right. Kind of surprised. that would be a first. I mean, I'm not bad at pronouncing names. I'm just not very good at it either. I mean, I somewhat know how things work, but yeah. Once you start adding like on more than like alternating things, like you can alternate vowels and consonants, and that usually makes sense for the English language. But once you start having like two consonants together or two vowels together, the sounds they make just start becoming arbitrary and kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. But yeah, that is kind of how language works. But, you know. But yeah, I really like the addition of Bowgum, and also what it means for the lore, since it means the random pink or green hologram person that has been showing up in Ghost Simulator since the Rebirth update is actually Bo himself, which is interesting to think about, since that could mean, I know Bo is considered a fourth dimensional being who can time travel already. If that means that he's cross-dimensional traveling, trying to warn us about something, would be my guess, is that he's trying to warn us about the new Rebirth NPC, who is kind of mysterious and in that way. So that's definitely something interesting that they're definitely going to be able to build on. How many keys do you currently got? I can hear your keyboard. You're tryharding. Yeah, my keyboard's not that loud. Also, my microphone's kind of right next to my keyboard, and farther away from my mouth than it is from my keyboard. So you're probably able to hear my keyboard a little bit better than me in terms of volumes. But yeah, yeah, I definitely am not the chillest, laid back person when it comes to playing games. So yeah. How many keys do I currently got? I think I'm up to, probably once I'm done with this, close to 351. I can go quickly check. Yeah, 351 currently, so once I get done with this, there'll be 353. I'll have about 15 minutes left of grinding that I'm planning on doing today, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, during my quest, or during my stream, when the new quest came out for like Reed, Tonya, I don't know how to pronounce that name, and Ella, I was spamming the spacebar a lot, and rewatching the stream, you could just hear me once through every quest just spamming the spacebar repeatedly, and it's just, I think it's hilarious. I don't really find too much of a problem with the volume of the keyboard pressing, since it wasn't really too much over, it was just kind of obvious. I feel like it made it a little bit better, to be honest, in my opinion, having all that random stuff going on in the background where people could actually hear my keyboard presses, and it doesn't detract too much from the stream itself. I'm not going to comment on that. What do you think of the Dark Souls lore? I don't know if you're talking about like the Ghost World Souls, but if you're talking about like a different game, I have no idea. I don't think that's Ghost Sim related, so that's kind of interesting. I'm assuming that's a different game. It might also be you're referring to the Ghost World's Soul Currency, which I really don't know much about anyways, but I'm assuming it's a different game, in which case I haven't played it and really don't know it, so yeah. villager noise. Yeah, I use a lot of filler words like yeah and hum and basically I use a lot of filler words during these streams, I realize, and that's kind of how the streams work. I'm not too confident with what to talk about. And I'd rather not have silence during it, which is kind of human nature. A lot of ums, as you've probably noticed. It's like 40 quid. I have no idea what a quid is. I'm very American in my understanding of other systems, but I'm assuming you mean it's like a different game on probably a different console for people to buy. Honestly, most fighting games I really don't see a point in playing, and I really don't like to buy games because of just kind of, I don't know if I'll ever get use out of it, but yeah. Quid is British money. Okay, interesting. I'm not too good with that kind of stuff, so very American in my perception of other cultures. Which, you know. Wait, do you own a gun? No, I do not own a gun. I'm not that. I'm honestly not that American. I don't really own a gun or do any of the stupid things that you see on the news about Americans and the memes and stuff. It's a bit over exaggerated. Like all cultures, the society is over exaggerates the use of Americans and guns. I mean, it is something that is pretty big, but at the same time, it's not like everyone. Anyways, hello Highest, hello Wesley. Some are legal and some are illegal. Actually, yeah, in America, I don't really know about the gun laws, but like on a whole, most guns are completely legal to own. It's just more of like using them is the bigger issue. Is whether or not it's definitely not legal to use them in most places. I mean, maybe you're on the property or in other places. It also depends which state you live in. There's a lot of different laws in different states about gun use. It's something that it's good. At the same time, it's also kind of bad. It's good as in it does allow a little bit. The basis of it was good, but it's kind of outdated in a sense with how it works in modern times compared to what it really was for. But yeah, interpretation of it is completely whack. But yeah. Yeah, a lot of it is also like stuff like that. There's a lot of permits that you need for owning it. And so it's kind of regulated a bit, and for good reason. I mean, guns are dangerous, so letting people own guns. Like if you have you'll need like a license to carry a hidden gun or like a hidden one on your person, and stuff to buy rifles, and there's a lot more regulation than what you'd think. They kind of resolved the problem with Roblox. That's good. I know a lot of online stuff breaks just because of how internet stuff works with all that. But yeah, internet's a weird place. A lot of random stuff happens for very very little reason, like breaking stuff. How many Meeps you defeated? Total or during the stream? During the stream, I'm thinking I'm up to about 10, I think. 10 to 20. Let me do some math. Alright, I've defeated 21 this stream so far. In total, I've probably defeated I'm going to say a solid probably a solid like 150-ish total during the event, which might be a little bit of an overestimate, but I think it's a pretty good round bout. But yeah, I've been grinding a lot this event, which is definitely nice. Let's go use a vacuum. So yeah, I've definitely been getting better over time, being able to more efficiently defeat the Meep. I used to be taking like 8 minutes per. I'm now down to like under 5, or not under 5, under 6 per the whole cycle, which is actually quite quick when you think about it. So yeah. I'm basically at that point where there's not much time save I can have other than making sure not to mess up the ghosts vacuuming and getting to each room as quick as possible, since most of my time loss is usually from dilly-dallying in a room reading chat instead of moving on to the next room, which is definitely worth it. But yeah, and a little bit else is also from not being the most efficient in my vacuuming of the last ghost in a room. Sometimes I just misclick or take a while. But yeah, there's not really much more time save that you can get in the dungeon. It's pretty much you're at a set time after a certain point, since it's most of the time lost that usually most people generate is from just having max amount of ghosts and not having them respawn. But yeah. The vacuum gun really helps with that. Roblox broken my iPad. Yeah, Roblox is having a little bit of problems right now. That's much. Oops, wrong emoji. I have an emoji keyboard. I love it. Yeah, emojis are really. I kind of like them. I mean, I use them a lot on Discord. Not too much on other places, but they really do help with the emotion stuff and like that. But yeah, Roblox is currently down, I think. It's having some problems somewhere, probably with game authentication and stuff, I'd guess, based off of the errors that I'm seeing. But yeah, it's let's see, where's the X gun? There we go. Yeah, it's not uncommon for stuff like that to have problems. Roblox is working on mobile that's not strong. Yeah, it's having some difficulties. But yeah, this will probably be the last Meep fight I do. It'll get me up to 357 keys, I think. Maybe 359. No, 357 keys total. Which is actually a little bit more than I was expecting. I was expecting to just be about 350, but we've been making a little bit better progress than I thought. I thought I would be only doing about one every 6 minutes, but I've been doing a little bit better than that, usually about one every 5.5, give or take about 15 seconds. But yeah. Yeah, sometimes I use emojis, sometimes I'm not. It's really more of like what I'm in the mood for. A lot of the time I use filler emojis because I have no idea what to say in like a chat. Yeah, I think that'll be it for the stream. It's been about the 2-hour mark. I think we're actually probably just under currently. But yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for showing up. I definitely really enjoyed grinding some crystal keys. At some point I might do some grinding in public servers, if I can figure out how to get people to join. But yeah, let me go. I want to go check something really quick. Just a second. Yeah, okay. These ghosts have fallen down, so this is kind of annoying, but one of the current things. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys all for joining, and stay safe out there. Have you ever played Robeats? No. I haven't. I'm really bad at those rhythm games, so yeah. I'm planning on starting a few new Roblox games, just to see if I like it and can expand myself at all, but yeah. With that being said, I think that's about time I end the stream.